Then there's Harry, who still thinks he's prince. And hello, you're not. You're not our prince. You're not royalty to us. We don't give a about you at all. In fact, we dislike you greatly, and we really wish you would go back home.
So the reason they won't pay for his ongoing security when he visits the UK is because they want him dead, Dan.
I know, this is now paranoia and delusion on an actual terrifying scale.
So since Prince Harry's security court battle has sort of blown up in his face. I mean, he lost the first time, and then he lost the appeal, and then he went on BBC to whine and moan about it.
Word on the street is that Prince Harry might be losing everything. Well, at least the one thing that still tied him to royalty, his title.
But you have to give up the titles. You can no longer be the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
The House of Lords is reportedly stepping in to officially strip him of the Duke of Sussex status. And guess what? The media is not even fighting it. They're nodding right along.
Calm themselves during a tantrum. That's what it feels like. And we talked about how from even Meghan's perspective, this isn't very cool for her either. It's not very chill.
At first, it felt like the usual royal soap opera, another chapter in the never-ending Harry versus the royal family saga. But this time, it's not just rumors or tabloid gossip. This is real. It started quietly, just murmurs floating around Westminster. Then suddenly, a formal petition dropped. It is not a random online rant, but a legitimate proposal backed up by power.
Sort of absolute cretin would go to these fires in her position and make sure they get on camera and that news stories are generated about them helping the poor city of Los Angeles residents whose homes burned.
This isn't about petty drama anymore. It's a serious move to cut ties with Harry, title and all. Sure, he stepped away from royal duties a while back, but he kept the title, kept the brand, and built an entire public image on it. And now people are asking, can you really leave the royal life behind? Move to sunny California, build a business off your old royal identity, and still hold on to the perks?
As you and I both well know, if you want to help out, there are ways to make donations and you can keep them anonymous. That's what I do. When I make my donations, I keep them anonymous because I'm not looking for credit. In fact, I don't want credit. I don't want people knowing where I give my money or what I give my money to.
This has officially gone from a family issue to a public firestorm. The very country that once adored him, Diana's son, the royal rebel, now seems to be turning on him. And it's not the press leading the charge this time, it's the public. If this thing passes, it's more than just a name change. It cuts off the last royal thread Harry's been hanging on to. No more Duke of Sussex, just Harry. And honestly, for someone who's made that title part of his global image, that's a massive blow.
None of us even want you to live here. We were praying you would stay in Canada. So you will not be treated like royalty here. We really couldn't give two shits about your on the Constitution and the First Amendment.
Many people thought that this was some propaganda online, and it's not even possible. But no, the House of Lords is taking action. And Harry, he's reportedly furious. Because let's face it, that title still opens doors. In Hollywood, in business meetings, at red carpet events, without it, he's not a royal anymore. He's just a celebrity with a complicated past.
Who still thinks he's prince. And hello, you're not. You're not our prince. You're not royalty to us. We don't give a about you at all. In fact, we dislike you greatly, and we really wish you would go back home.
And it's not stopping there. People are fired up. The petition is spreading like wildfire. Tens of thousands have already signed it. They're not just watching, they're actually doing something. They're not accusing Harry of being a traitor or anything that extreme, but they're definitely sending a message. Maybe he didn't break the L, but in the eyes of many, he broke trust. And in royal terms, that's enough.
Harry and Meghan have been bumped down the pecking order. When you go to the website, now they're much lower down. They're below Princess Alexandra and Duke of Kent because obviously they're not working members of the royal family anymore. So they've been bumped down and references to His and Her Royal Highness have been removed. It's been 3 years it's taken them to do this on the website. It is a sign that, you know, slowly but surely they aren't going to be allowed back in.
People are honestly just over it. Like, how long can someone bash the royal family while still writing on its name for clout and cash? This isn't just about being disrespectful anymore. It's starting to look like a full-on takedown of Harry's last real tie to the monarchy. What began as public frustration is now turning into real action. And when the public are on the same page like this, it's not noise anymore. It's a warning sign. Things are moving, and there's no hitting the brakes now.
They want us to know that they oppose it. Why do we care what you think, girl number 40 with your suitcase? No one cares at all. what you think about anything.
Now here's where it really spirals. Harry didn't leave the UK to find peace and live quietly with his family. He got loud, really loud. Not just with his Oprah sit-downs and Netflix specials, where he talked about his relations with his father.
Montecito, rather?
I mean, goodness knows what surely they can't be surprised by this, I would have thought, because this is something that's always been expected. They're not supposed to use their HRH titles. That was all part of the agreement of Megxit when they left their royal duties.
It's not just quiet murmurs in the background anymore. People are going on record, publicly asking the big uncomfortable question. Why is someone with a royal title getting involved in something that they shouldn't be? Because here's the thing, being a royal comes with strict expectations, tradition, formality, and staying far away from anything that could rock the boat. But Harry's been walking a fine line for a while now, still holding on to the Duke of Sussex title while carving out a very different life for himself. And it's not just quiet whispers behind palace walls anymore. People are starting to question what it really means when someone steps away from royal duties but still holds a royal title. This isn't just a minor family disagreement, it's a bigger identity crisis. When someone tied so deeply to centuries of tradition starts reshaping what that looks like, it brings up big questions about the future of the monarchy itself. Maybe Harry just wanted to speak his truth and define his own path, but in doing so, he's also shaken up a system that was never built to bend. If there's one thing Harry's held on to since stepping away from royal duties, it's this almost obsessive mission to take down the monarchy. From that bombshell Oprah interview to the Netflix series and his tell-all book Spare, it's like destroying the royal image has become his personal campaign.
You can't do any of that. In other words, you can't have your royal cake and eat it.
Oh, it's hard to take Prince Harry seriously when he's complaining about real security concerns on international television and watching the family inching closer to showing the children on social media.
Yeah.
At first, people listened. They were curious. Some even sympathized. But now, even his most loyal fans are stepping back. He's turned on everyone. His father, his brother, his stepmother, even the late Queen didn't escape the fire. That's not healing. That's setting fire to every bridge behind you. But this is where it gets interesting and the family drama kicks in. According to sources, Prince Harry is reportedly trying to mend things with his father, King Charles. But it's proving to be a tough road. After everything that's been said and done, especially Harry's past comments about being treated like the spare in the royal family, the relationship is still on shaky ground.
The justification being that this is helping to build Meghan's commercial brand. You know, if you are really concerned about security, to your point, why are you going to Colombia? Why are you going to Nigeria?
Even though Harry seems to want to make peace, those emotional claims about feeling overlooked compared to his brother, Prince William, haven't been forgotten. And while the public is curious to see if a reunion is possible, behind the scenes, it's not as simple as just saying sorry and moving on. There's a lot of hurt and history to work through. Many people are raising eyebrows now. Why is he suddenly trying to mend his relationship with his father, especially while he's in the middle of a major public backlash? A lot of people think it's obvious. The only person who might be able to help repair his image is his father. But honestly, it doesn't look like that's going to happen this time. For those of you who don't know, in the interview, Harry didn't hold back. He slammed what he called an establishment stitch-up and opened up about the ongoing rift with his family. He even admitted, "Of course some members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book. Of course they will never forgive me for lots of things." But in the same breath, he insisted that he still wants to make peace with them. Behind the palace gates, insiders are baffled. One close to King Charles told The Times that the issue isn't that the king refuses to talk to Harry, it's that he can't. However, Harry reiterated, "I would love reconciliation with my family."
This isn't the first time that he's told us his father won't talk to him.
They went on, suggesting that Harry avoid worsening the situation if he's serious about fixing his relationship with the royal family, saying, perhaps if he tried to earn rather than demand a reconciliation, things might go a little better for him. It's just very tragic. The source claimed Harry just sees conspiracy every time a decision doesn't go in his direction. They added, he is like a gambler in a casino who can't walk away, he just doubles down. Even when he speaks of reconciliation, it's laced with threats and anger. Long story short, if Harry truly wants a reunion, he may need to rethink his approach, because right now, the palace isn't buying the olive branch. Harry's been using his title like a shield, keeping that royal glow while launching attacks from the comfort of his California mansion. But that strategy, it's run its course. He's pushed too far too often, and now people are calling it out as what they believe is symbolic treason. Not a legal offense, but a brutal insult to the very institution that once defined him. But here's the part that really stings. People from Sussex, his own dukedom, are lining up to sign the petition. One elderly woman said it best. He doesn't represent us anymore. He represents himself. And honestly, that line hits hard because it's true. Sure, he might still have the spotlight in the US, but back home, people feel betrayed. Not because he left, but because he left and trashed the very institution that raised him and is still making money off its name. You can't keep playing both sides forever.
King Prince Charles at the time told Queen Elizabeth, "I'm not an ATM," because those calls were about money. So Harry and Meghan, they have an issue when it comes to...
And now, even the folks who once had his back are turning away. This isn't just fallout from one scandal. It's the weight of years of tell-alls, leaks, and public digs at the crown. The public mood hasn't just shifted, it's collapsed. People are done. And it seems that due to public scrutiny, Harry's own family has also chosen to distance themselves from him in order to protect the reputation that took decades, even centuries, to build. It's like they're saying, you left, you turned on us, and now we're cutting ties. People in the UK are seriously fed up with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle still holding on to their royal titles. Many are calling for them to be stripped of their Duke and Duchess status altogether. One frustrated Brit summed it up by telling the Post, "Enough is enough." The frustration boiled over even more recently after Harry, 40, gave an interview to the BBC where he opened up about his rocky relationship with his family just hours after losing his court appeal to have the public pay for his security. That didn't sit well with many. Why on earth do we, the British public, need to foot the bill for this? One angry local asked, referring to Harry, Meghan, and their kids. At the same time, Meghan, 43, is being accused of still using her royal status in private, even though she and Harry agreed to stop using their HRH, her Royal Highness, titles after stepping away from royal life in 2020. Meghan was recently spotted doing just that.
I mean, goodness knows what surely they can't be surprised by this, I would have thought, because this is something that's always been expected. They're not supposed to use their HRH titles. That was all part of the agreement of Megxit when they left their royal duties.
The drama started when her friend Jamie Kern-Lima posted a photo of a gift basket she got from Meghan. Eagle-eyed fans noticed a note tucked inside that read with compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. The card was reportedly sent about a year ago. However, sources close to Meghan say there's no scandal here. They claim the note was simply part of a personal gift, not something for public or business, and wasn't meant to break any royal rules.
You can no longer be the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You can no longer call yourselves that, or HRH as she does on her ghastly little jams, whatever it is. You can't do any of that.
Palace insiders, however, say the incident didn't go unnoticed and was even talked about behind closed doors at the royal household. Still, Meghan's team insists that neither she nor Harry used their HRH titles in public or commercial settings, and that this was a private matter being blown out of proportion. Regardless, the backlash is growing, and it's clear a lot of Brits feel the couple can't have one foot in royal life while trying to live independently. But here's the thing that many people have noticed now. Harry and Meghan stepped up their brand game. Every single deal they've signed, from Netflix to Spotify to even children's books, has the royal stamp front and center. Not Harry and Meghan, nope. It's all the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That's not some coincidence. It's branding, plain and simple. And honestly, the UK is over it.
Meghan Markle told us on the Netflix series, Harry lost his father. Harry told Oprah Winfrey, "My father's not taking my calls." It later was revealed, alleged by sources, that King Prince Charles at the time told Queen Elizabeth, "I'm not an ATM," because those calls were about money.
Critics are calling it what it is, teaking, using royal status to sell content, push their image, and rake in cash, all while claiming to want a private life. Even their kids carry titles while they preach about stepping away from the spotlight. The double standard? It's deafening, and the people are no longer turning a blind eye. This wasn't a quiet retreat, it was a full-on marketing strategy. In Britain, royal titles aren't some viral hashtag. They're supposed to mean something. But Harry's turned his into a logo, and for a lot of folks, that's not just tacky, it's downright disrespectful. But here's where things get cutthroat. While people have sharpened their knives, Buckingham Palace stays quiet. King Charles, he's not rushing in to defend his son. Instead, he's stepping back, letting the system do what he won't. Why? Because he doesn't want to look like a dad punishing his child. And Prince William? Sources say he's got zero objections. No protests, no sympathy, just a silent green light. To him, this isn't just a family spat. This is about protecting the monarchy. Many people are wondering if Harry walks into a formal event and instead of being introduced as His Royal Highness, he hears Mr. Harry Windsor. That's not just losing a title, that's his entire brand identity collapsing. Because let's be honest, without the royal connection, what's left? A couple known more for controversy than contribution. The interviews, the documentaries, the headlines, it's all built on a royal illusion. Strip away the titles, and they're just two celebrities selling their story, not continuing a legacy. This isn't just about protocol or pomp. This is about pulling the plug on the one thing that gives them global influence. And guess what? It's not the first time this has happened. If you've been living under a rock, let's rewind a bit. Back in 1917, King George V stripped royal titles from his own relatives who were siding with Britain's enemies during wartime. Fast forward to now, and history might just be repeating itself. We already saw Prince Andrew lose everything after the Epstein mess. The message? No one is untouchable, not even family. And now it's Harry who's under the spotlight.
I want history to repeat itself. I think there's a lot of other people out there, the majority, that also don't want history to repeat itself. Through this disclosure process, I've discovered that some people want history to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
The reasoning is pretty straightforward. If you constantly bash the monarchy, you can't keep reaping the benefits of it. That crown you keep criticizing, you can't keep using it as your personal brand logo. More and more people are saying it out loud. He's not one of us anymore. And honestly, a lot of people agree. How can you trash the institution, cash in on your royal connection, and still expect to hold on to the title? People aren't just angry, they're armed with public support and legal authority. This isn't going to end in another headline-grabbing scandal. It'll happen quietly, through official documents, private votes, and laws that have stood the test of centuries. And once that title is stripped, the magic's gone. The glamour, the mystery, the prestige, poof. Harry might be about to learn the hard way that once you distance yourself from the monarchy, you don't get to hold on to its perks. After the interviews, the documentaries, the lawsuits, the memoirs, this could be the final curtain call. The monarchy isn't yelling, it's not ranting on camera, it's doing what it does best, moving in silence with power. It's kind of poetic when you think about it. Harry didn't just walk away, he torched the bridge and tried to sell the smoke. But now the very institution he's been criticizing is coming back with something he can't fight with a microphone: legitimacy. Because once the royal label is removed, what's left? No prince, no title, just Harry, a once beloved figure now drowning in controversy. He set out to be a global changemaker, a truth teller, a symbol of rebellion. But along the way, he may have become something worse: irrelevant. This isn't just a petition, it's a public verdict. Not from the media, not from angry critics, but from the very people he once claimed to speak for. And now they're speaking back, loud and clear. This time, Harry doesn't get to have the final say. The crown hasn't spoken out loud, but its silence is deafening. And what's coming next might just bring the whole royal fantasy crashing down. What do you guys think about it? Tell us in the comments below.